There is an FM workshop database called the worst FM database ever. And I have this database and I have run 10 seasons, and let me tell you, it is crazy. For instance, this is the Premier League, kind of as you'd think it would be outside of everybody gets relegated in the first season and everybody drops down into tier 2. Now, tier 2 is a little bit more complicated. It's not the championship as you would usually see it. In fact, it's something very different. Now, we have the League of Compromise here. So on the actual database, the community workshop thing where you can see the database to download it, I've got it to the side here. It gives you all the information for every single league that we've got. For instance, upon inevitable relegation, you'll randomly fall into one of 20 horribly designed leagues, all of which have just one promotion spot to get back to the Premier League. Of course, you'll inevitably get relegated again, but this is quite funny. So, the League of Compromise. 2 points for a win, 2 points for a loss, 6 points for a draw. Learn to make everybody a winner. And as we can see, Concept here, who drew 16 games, are champions. So that's obviously what's happened here. So if you go down to rules, you can see points for a draw is 6, points for a win is 2. And that's basically how you get out of the League of Compromise. But of course, there's 20 leagues here, so there's 19 other ones. League of Conflicting Interests. Now this has huge cash prizes every time you lose a game, but no rewards for winning. So, I mean, Fleetwood are champions. They've won all of that. But if you look at Baldock Town, who lost 36 games, their finances are 36 million. And they have a transfer budget next season of 27 million. So, what I'm thinking with this division is it's actually really good to fall into if you're a terrible club. Because if you have 2 or 3 seasons of being absolutely dross and being terrible, you start to pick up a lot of money. And after a few seasons, you'll have enough to buy as much players as you like, and you can get yourself promoted to inevitably get relegated again. But that's what happens in the worst database ever. We got the League of Development. Now this just looks like it's just all of the B teams plus hashtag United. So the League of Development, you got lucky. Every team here except you is a B team of a Premier League team and cannot be promoted. You get to take the year to prepare for the Premier League. So every team is the B team outside of hashtag who are promoted in 21st place. So you just guaranteed to go up. That's fantastic, right? Then you had the League of Meaninglessness. League of Meaninglessness. The whole season is played and everyone qualifies for a promotion playoff. So if you look at the league table, you play 46 games for no reason whatsoever, and then you go into a promotion playoff where everybody's in it. And it's just a random draw to then go on, and Wealdstone won in the final there. Where did they actually finish in second place? So although Bromley were champions, Wealdstone actually went up. Again, you don't really play this database to start a career. You play this database just to see how bonkers and how funny it is. And gone 10 years, we're going to see a lot of craziness. And I just want to see, basically, what happens after a couple of years? What happens after 10 years? Did we create some monsters? Maybe there's a team that's won the Champions League a couple of times because they just have loads of money. Anyway, let's continue and look at the rest of these strange leagues. The League of Pure Luck. So for this, you gain 2 points for a win, 2 points for a draw, and 2 points for a loss. No tie-breaking rules. Only God can judge you now. So, I don't know why Porton Rovers, but Porton Rovers has been randomly chosen as the top team of 24 teams on 92 points with the same record. So you play all of those games for no reason whatsoever, and then one team is randomly chosen to get promoted into the Premier League. Again, there's no rhyme or reason or logic for this. It's just a bit of fun. It's also the worst database ever, the League of Two. Now this one's quite funny. There is only 2 teams in this division. You better hope you're the one who goes up. It's really embarrassing if you don't. St Albans, only 4 points. They played Reading 10 times. Yeah. On to the next, March Madness. Now this one is very much like a cup draw. It's just a single elimination. Don't lose. So MK Dons, they've defeated Chesterfield there. They've gone through all of the groups. They haven't lost at all. and they've gone on and won. So March Madness there. I mean, there's loads of groups, so you beat them once, then you go through to the next round. So yeah, you just go into the first round, as you can see from that. So that's March Madness. On to the next one. We have the chopping block. I love the names, by the way. This is very thought out for being the worst database ever, isn't it? Now, the chopping block is every team, except for one, is relegated into the abyss. Now, what's the abyss, you say? That is tier 3. Yeah, there's more than one, there's more than 2 tiers now. So the abyss, so let me find the abyss on screen here. So you go down to the abyss, which funny enough, Plymouth Argyle are actually the champions of the abyss. It used to be League 1. Now, the abyss is a huge division with 23 promotion spots. If you do manage to go up, the chopping block awaits. So again, if you go up from the abyss, you just go into the chopping block, which is, I mean, then go back into the abyss again. Because if you get promoted into the chopping block, most of the time you go back into the abyss. It's very confusing, and it will take some getting used to, I guess. But the chopping block, here we go. So the chopping block, only one person is crowned as champions. And they actually never lost a game. Neither did Woking, but they're now going to go into the abyss and constantly go up and down. So I feel sorry for anybody who lands in the chopping block. But there we go. On to the next one. We have the League of 11. Now, the League of 11, that sounds cool, doesn't it? But there's no subs allowed in this division. So you're only 11, you pick your 11, and that is it. No substitutes whatsoever. And that's basically the main rules of the League 11. 5 subs can be named maximum. It says that there, but then you can't. It literally, there's no substitutes. That's the rules of this league. Anyway, we'll move on. That's the League of the 11. The League of Balance. Now, this one's quite interesting, actually. I quite like this one. So the League of Balance is 2 points for a win, 2 points for a draw, 6 points for a loss. However, there will be a promotion playoff league which regular season points will transfer to. You must win this league with the standard point system. Yeah, that's very confusing, isn't it? But Watson Park, who are going to get promoted because they lost 34 games, gaining them 226 points. So that is... they won this as well, so... yeah, they lost 18 in the league table. Then you go into the promotion playoff, where again, that it goes over. I think if you're the worst team in this league, that means you'll most likely get promoted. But here we go. That's the League of Balance. The League of Behaving Well. This one makes a little bit more sense. It kind of on the nose, this one, I think. The League of Well-Behavedness. 2 points for all results, again. And all that separates the teams here is a discipline record. So you got to have less yellow cards and red cards than any other team. So Melksham there, they had the least amount. So poor Sporting Karlsruhe there, they had 13 yellow cards on one player there. They're probably near the bottom. Well, they're not actually. They're 11th place. But as you can see, everybody is on 92 points, and then they got Shaquille Van Persie. How did Mansfield sign Shaquille Van Persie? On a loan, he got 28 goals for them. It meant nothing. But there we go. If you've got good discipline, you'll get promoted from the League of Behaving Well. This is the League of Children. Not the best name. I'll give them that. The strict squad rules only allow an under 18 players. Even if you do win, you're coming right back. So, yeah, most likely you're not going to be able to stay up with under 18 players. But Harrogate Town manages to get themselves promoted and only lost 2 games. Congratulations to them. The League of Demanding Schedules is exactly what it seems there. Oxford there played 69 games. So the League of Demanding Schedules... the literally description for it is just so many games. They're just playing loads of games. So 69 games in total there in the league, and somehow only 32 goals were scored. That's low. But again, only 1 promotion spot. Then it's the League of Many. Now this one has 2 groups that, and both groups have 50 teams in them. And there's only 2 promotion spots. Yeah, there's 2 promotion spots that go up from here. So the League of So Many. So many teams, only 1 promotion spot. So yeah, the 2 champions then go into the promotion playoff against each other, and only 1 gets promoted. So that's the League of Many. There's so many teams and only 1 of them goes up. Congrats to Burton Albion. Now the League of Primetime Television. This is a very good one to fall into because you can probably imagine what it is. They get a lot of money. £186 million there for Kirsten Ashton. Binfield down the bottom here. We've got £82 million. There's just so much money in this one. So the description of this one is huge TV deals, huge prize money, higher reputation than Premier League. But are you ready for it? So if you stay in this division for long enough, you're going to be so rich and you're going to have the best reputation. And Wrexham's in here, funny enough. So their reputation is going to go up even higher. And they have an overall balance of £195 million. £95 million transfer budget. This one's the one you want to fall into, because although it's only one promotion, the longer you stay in there, the better it is anyway. Okay, on to the next. Then we have the League of Self-Deprecation. That one doesn't sound very good at all. So in this league, you get 6 points for a loss, 2 points for a win, and 2 points for a draw. So the more you lose, you go up. So it's not too complicated, that one. Just be really terrible. Just be absolutely shit, and you'll go up. Easy enough. And that's why Whiteleaf, that's what they did. They only won 3 games. They get themselves promoted to the Premier League. The League of the Chosen is next. Now this one, you get 2 points for every result, 8 groups of 10. 1 from each is chosen randomly to complete in a playoff. So again, it's loads of pointless games. Then you play in a playoff, and one team is just randomly chosen again. All there is to it, really, on that one. Don't want to be going into that one. The Literal Championship. This is basically the championship from what it was last season. Pretty much again, going into the Literal Championship. So Leeds, if they're won the most points, they go up. That's just the obvious one. And then you have the Sunday League. Now, the Sunday League is a league with a reputation of 1, which is the worst reputation you could potentially get. Amateur contracts only. You won't be signing anyone good here. And somehow still Notts County have managed to do that and get themselves promoted. So if you look at Notts County, they still have Luke Williams in charge as well. Fair play. Dan Crowley is there, but I very much doubt he played any games this season. It says he has, but maybe he was on a amateur contract. Doesn't say that there. I don't know how that's kicking in or why that's not working. God knows. Macaulay Langstaff scored 25 goals. I don't think that one worked very well. The World Cup is next. Now, the World Cup is the last league out of the 20 which you can get relegated into, and that's 32 teams, 8 groups of 4, group stage and a knockout stage of 16 teams. A very short, very important season. Just like the World Cup format that we know and love right now. Please don't change it, FIFA, but I know you're going to. Stockport County got promoted from this with beating Doncaster there, so only 1 goes up actually, so it's not the actual format. It's very similar to it. But there we go. So let's have a look and see what happened after a couple of seasons and just find out what madness is going on right now. Now, I don't think it's too surprising, but the first team to win the Premier League after all of that happened was Leeds United. Obviously, they come up from what was the literal championship, and they were probably the best team around it, because if you look at the rest of the teams, none of them are even in like the top 3 leagues. Well, Cambridge was up there, and they had a lot of money, remember. They had £61 million because they were in the League of a Lot of Fortune, or the TV deal one. Leeds have a minus £100 million budget, though. So that isn't great. Again, they're all getting relegated. It doesn't matter anyway. Now, honourable mentions. I think I'll just go through and do this. The League of Meaninglessness. Luton won the league and then gained promotion through the playoffs. I mean, so they should have, because the rest of the teams look like they're all non-league teams, and they only won it against Chippenham Town in extra time. So, I mean, Rob Edwards is still there. They still got some decent players. And Chippenham Town, I would probably say, don't have very good players, and they took them to extra time. So honestly, fair play to you, Chippenham Town. Now, I don't know whether it's an error, but almost all of the Premier League teams that I can see, well, a lot of them, probably about 10 of them, have gone into the chopping block, which is the one you definitely don't want to go into. But Manchester United, Man City, Newcastle, Brighton, Villa, Chelsea won the league, which means they get promoted back in. So they've avoided the chopping block, because now these guys, they go into the abyss. That is not where you want to go at all. The abyss was horrible, horrendous, and that's the worst place you want to go. It's kind of nice. I mean, Man United then play like Man United B. It's all a little bit corrupt, and also quite funny at the same time. Tottenham lucked out, though. They went into the League of 11, where you can't play any substitutes, and they won 42 games out of 42. They didn't play anybody very good by the looks of it. I love looking at all of these non-league team names, by the way, because Some of them are quite local to me, so every now and then I'll recognize a team, and then some of them I'm like, they can't be real, but they are. And I like looking at the cool badges too. This is obviously the one that you want to go into, the League of Primetime Television, because there's just so much money in there. I mean, if you look at these teams here, £268 million that Farsley have. Hartlepool won it this year with $350 million in the bank. So they're obviously going to be spending a lot of money next season, you'd probably like to think, because they've done very well. But I can't see any of the Premier League teams going to this. So again, I don't know how the relegation, whether it's like randomly they just generate in different leagues. I don't quite know how he's made it, to be fair, but there we go. I'm seeing very little Premier League teams, and then like 2 being 1 at the same time. Because like Liverpool went into the literal championship and won it. They only lost 2 games there, both against Leicester, funny enough, who finished in 2nd place. And they still have pretty much all of the championship teams, bar like, I don't know how many, actually. Because there's a few down here which are definitely not in the championship. It's very confusing, this league. It is the worst league ever. It's quite fun, though, to look through. Fair play to Crystal Palace, though. They won the World Cup. They beat Boreham Wood in the final. I very much doubt, obviously, they had many competitors against them. There's Wigan, Rochdale, Solihull Moors, and Yeovil. So, yeah, they didn't really have that many good teams to face off against. But they won in the final, nonetheless. They beat Boreham Wood. Okay. I've gone to 2023. Now, this database was very laggy and it kept crashing. So, it took me long enough just to do 10 years, is what it usually would, for me to do 100 years. That's how... In the database, it went quite fast, but it just kept getting crashing. So I don't know whether everybody else is going to experience that, but I'm willing to give it a try anyway to see how... For the experiments. Now, English Premier League. Arsenal have won the English Premier League. Fantastic. However, the teams in there... I mean, Plymouth Parkway's there. That's amazing. I've played against Plymouth Parkway at their stadium. Bolethill Park. Yes, I've played there. I mean, Exeter's in there as well. Hashtag United. I love hashtag. Tottenham are up there, and they got themselves relegated. And it's amazing, isn't it, that Tottenham are in there, but Watford and Ebbsfleet finished above them, because obviously they've had better times in these last 10 years than probably... Stephen Schumacher's the manager of Ebbsfleet. No, that's the Plymouth Argyle manager. It seems like when you go in the Premier League, you get zero money, because £140 million in the red is not great. Arsenal, of course, are champions, 13 million. Arne Slot is their manager right now. They still have good players too, and I am interested to see where all the good players went. Wrexham are still there. Well, they're in there anyway. Their reputation's gone up slightly. Their finances are still good. That we know that they had a good season earlier on, didn't they? So Plymouth Parkway, did they have 9 million? I mean, that's not bad. Well, for Plymouth Parkway, that's insane. Let me tell you that. Garside had his testimonial. Wow, that's incredible. Just a little local lad. That's real Garside, in case anybody was wondering. 31 years of age. I was looking through their team to find him, and then I saw the best name ever. So I thought, I'm just going to jump in and show you. Peter Parker. Peter Parker, Spider-Man, plays for Plymouth Parkway. He's 20, he's very aggressive and good teamwork and good work rate. He's actually really good player for what they would have, because the mental attributes of that is enough to carry him, despite having 1 for finishing and 2 for taking. Like, he's honestly terrible. But Peter Parker's there. Let's just move on. So, 10 years in the future, Newcastle have just won the League of Meaninglessness. Obviously, where you play all the games and then you go into like a cup draw, and they played against a lot of teams I've never heard of, so it's no surprise there. But they got Garnacho, so financially, they are £55 million in the red. What I do like to see is the competition, so you can kind of see what's been happening each year. So some years they have nothing, which I'm guessing is when they go into the chopping block and then they go into the abyss. So it just counts as zero, as like nothing. So we knew that they went in the chopping block. They had a couple of years as nothing. Then they went in the League of Meaningless again and won it. They went into Tier 2. I'm not sure what that is. Went into the Premier League. They won the Premier League, but obviously they got relegated again and then went into the League of Meaninglessness. So it's very bizarre, isn't it? The chopping block looks very similar to what it did when we first seen it all those years ago. Manchester United, Chelsea, Brighton, they're all in there again, and Man City won it. So, yeah, I mean, I'll have a look at my club, Manchester United, here and see what they did. So the chopping block, the abyss, the abyss, the abyss. So I don't know why they have the abyss, but the other ones did. That's all they've done. Chopping block to the abyss. Chopping block to the abyss. That's all Man United have done in those years. They got Graham Coughlin as The amount of Plymouth Argyle links so far in this video, because Graham Coughlin was a legend at Plymouth Argyle. He once, when they were promoted, this is an Omega Dad fact here, Argyle once won the league, what would be League One now, and Graham Coughlin was their top scorer. However, he was the centre-back, so shows you how many goals we scored that season. But Graham Coughlin's now the manager of Old Trafford. I don't know. £50 million in the, well, minus £50 million in the bank there for Manchester United. What's Man City been doing though? So they got Consensao. I never know how to pronounce that name. I'm not very good with many names, to be honest.
Have you done your homework yet? Oh wait, you're dyslexic. Done your homework, Cav? You, I'm Answer. Hey, talking, me too.
They've done the same. Chopping block, abyss, chopping block. That's all that they've done. But every time they go into the chopping block, they manage to win. Oh, they've won it for the first time there. Oh, that could be the difference. Because I don't think Chelsea managed to do that. They've fallen back into that because they won the chopping block the first time round, didn't they? They didn't. I don't remember now. They did. I knew it. Oh, they were very unlucky. So, yeah, they went back into the abyss. What is happening with this database, honestly? It's all over the place. The last thing I want to have a look at is the League of Primetime Television, really. So, Chorley have just won it. They have nearly 700 million. Wow. In their overall balance. How long have they been? Oh, they've been in there. Why is there, like, leagues where, well, years where nothing happens? They finished second 3 times in a row in the League of Primetime Television and then finally won it. So they've done very well, Chorley. There's no wonder why they probably have a lot of money. Andy Priest, it looks like you've done a good job. Now, I don't really know like how else to explain this, and you know, you can have a look at the other leagues if you like, but I don't really know what to show you. I just know that it's absolutely crazy. So what I'll do is on Patreon or on the channel members, I'll put this save game file on there so you can have a look 10 years into the future on anything you want to have a look at. However, the database is free to download on the Steam Workshop. I don't know why you would want to play it, because it literally is the worst database ever, but it is a lot of fun if you just want to simulate into the future and then see what happens, I guess. I have had fun looking at it. I just get confused because what I thought was happening wasn't. But then it kind of made more chaos at the same time. So I don't really know. What are your thoughts on this database? If you like more videos like this, then, and you know other databases, like custom databases, etc., I love looking at stuff like that. You know, I like the Super League ones and stuff like that. Anything like that, I think is a lot of fun to have a look at, and where we just have randomness in Football Manager and it goes crazy. I'm all for stuff like that. So by all means, send me, if you find crazy databases, send me them. I want to know about it. This one I found thanks to Jenna, who is somebody I follow on Twitter, and she does like content and streaming. So shout out to her, and shout out to the guy who created this. You mad and wonderful person. I'm trying to find what he's called now. All right, so it was created by the guy called Cassie. Casey, Kasi. So, fair enough. Thank you very much for creating this, because it was crazy. And I'll leave a link to the Steam Workshop database download, wherever it is, link in the description. Okay, speaking of non-league and all these types of clubs, me and Dad took on Wrexham versus Notts County. If you haven't checked it out yet, it's a versus episode by episode, just like we do the versus rebuild. So if you like the versus rebuilds, but you haven't checked out the Wrexham versus Notts County journey, I'll leave episode 1 here for you now. Cheers, guys.